It's not the strongest of the species which survive. It's not the wisest of the species which survive. It is the one which is ready and accepts the change which survives. Charles Darwin. Good evening, dear viewers of Mind Academy's weekly Mind Race session for this week's episode, Lighting Up the World. Now, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome today's panelist and the dignitary also. Murali Krishnan sir, the founder director of Mind Academy, we have in our panel today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Bala, and good evening to all.
Thank you, sir. And also we have two special panel members for today's discussion, Shalat Shaju and Sanat Sriram. Welcome to Mind Race program, Sanat and Shalat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. As I was just sharing a short while ago, change is inevitable. The species which accepts the change in the best possible way survives, as rightly said by Charles Darwin. We continuously go through this transformational progress. And if we resist to this change, then it leads to a lot of friction. In result, the transformation gets delayed, probably it gets derailed as well. Now, in this context, there are multiple ways of looking into this transformation process. We at Mind Academy, designed by Murali sir, brought out this wonderful idea of a residential campaign program, Mind Explorer, through which the next gen can explore the areas which is generally not traveled as individuals, especially when going through the school phase. Now, to take us through what is this Mind Explorer and to more about it, so I would like to invite Murali Krishnan sir to explain the insights and the seed of thought for Mind Explorer. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you for having this topic this week, specifically as we are moving forward with our second batch of Mind Explorer program. As you rightly said, it is those who are adaptable or those who are ready to change themselves who survives. And this holds good for anything and everything in our life. And as we know that learning is a continual process, and this program, what it does is to help them, is to empower the participants to be in a mode of change, always be in a mode to be, adaptable to the changes that happens all around. And that goes along with this famous saying that, learning is a continual process. As you learn, you grow, and as you learn, you change, and then that's when the growth comes in for each one of us. And that is why we have this tagline, for this program, transform yourself. So the transformation, it's a transformation program, as you rightly said, it's a transformation program, and it's a 10-day residential camp. So what especially, this particular program is aiming at students specifically from this Gulf region, to be precise, most of them are from Saudi Arabia. And, the way the schooling is done, the education is done in this part of the world is not exactly the same as there in India. So it gives them a chance to be away from the family, and then do things on their own. So even though we say it's a 10-day residential program, the activities for this particular program starts much before that. Like, for example, as you know that, we are going to have this program starting. The opening ceremony is on 26th of June. That's what we have planned now, till it extends till 5th of July. But the actual learning process has already started. The way it is done, the planning, preparation, and all those things are entirely done by the participants themselves. We have the team, the overall team lead, Shalat Shaju, as well as the vice lead for the overall committee, Sanat Sriram, with us today here. They're already into the, I hope that they'll be taking us through the details about what they did and, how far they learned. But the point which I would like to bring forward is that, the program, even though it's a 10-day program, which is starting on June, right from April itself, they started the overall process of planning and preparation. And what it brings onto the table is like, how to plan these kind of programs, how to go into every nuances of, detailed planning, so that we don't leave any stones unturned to see that it's going out to be a very successful program altogether. Now, if you really look, when we are when you enter a career or when you go into an organization, that's when you get chance like these things to where you can form a team, lead a team, and then, enter into planning and preparation phase. But this program is giving even, grade 7ers, grade 8ers a chance to get or taste these planning and preparation process much ahead in their life. That is when they'll be able to be more resilient to the changes, be more adaptable to the changes, as you rightly said. And this brings a lot of change in each one of them, be it, in enhancing the confidence within yourself. When you're able to, I remember I started exploring myself when I got my first job, not even when I was doing my engineering, when I moved away from my state, Kerala, and then I went to a different state. That's when I really started exploring what life is. Okay,
Wonderful, sir.
so it's not just all about physics, chemistry, or maths, or the subjects that you learn at school. Life is much beyond that. So this program is actually helping the next generation be on top of their life, as we say, be the CEO of your life, and that's that's what we want each one of them to be by the time they complete this program. So basically, what it does is to empower them to be the CEO of their lives, going through various details, going through their life itself, and learn how to lead a joyful life, or how to lead a life that's befitting for the personality within themselves. Each one of them, each one of them is unique. So when you go through these process, they find out what is really unique in them, what are the strengths that they have, what are the weaknesses that each one of them have to work on. So all these facets will be covered. So that's what I would like to mention about the whole 10-day program called Mind Explorer. And I think Shalat and Sanat would be taking us through more in detail about how they felt about it and what kind of learning it's actually imparting on both of them and many other participants of Mind Explorer.
Thank you, sir. As you rightly said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and we will listen from the leaders who are available in the panel today. And it's very insightful to listen from the seed of thought which you have weed in for the next generation, and empowering, being part of this process. Indeed, it's an very enabling process, I would say so, sir. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and insights and bring out this concept Mind Explorer for next gen, so that they can explore, and as you rightly said, they can get into a stream or domain which matches their personality. It's a very simply worded phrase, I must say so, but it has deep gravity. Now, as Murli sir has opened up the discussion, dear panelists, now let me start with Shalat. I've always seen her a person who speaks her mind, and I would like to have two questions to you, Shalat. One is how do you see this terminology called transformational process? What does it sound to you? Point number one. And how do you look this Mind Explorer process in itself?
First of all, the transformation, especially at our age group, the adolescent time, we go through identity crisis, and we come through a lot of changes at that time, and we are not sure about ourselves, what will we do in the future, or what is going to happen the next day. And we try to look into every aspects we can, and we try many new things at that time. And I believe all these are part of transformation, and transformation is very important for us to lead on in our life. And the Mind Explorer, which will help us in transforming a lot, I believe, because it is making us independent, and we are going through this process all together. And yeah, I believe that we learn a lot of things during this 2-month process. And I am the participants, they're doing a great job completing their task on time, and yeah, it's great.
Wonderful, Charlotte. So I guess the whole team of explorers should be glad, because if the executive lead is giving a thumbs up, it means that things are on the right track, I must say so. And uncertainty is something which is very striking as far as the explanations or insights what Charlotte is bringing onto the table, especially when it comes to this transformational phase from mid-school to high school and just at the doorsteps of college. uncertainty and identity crisis is something which is every individual has gone through the process can very well correlate to what is going to happen tomorrow, how this world is going to change. And thanks to the pandemic, which has added more flavor to the situation, I must say so. So indeed, thanks for sharing your opening remarks, Shalat. Now, let me quickly take on to the same perspective from Sanat. So now, Sanat, you have been extremely active. So I would leave it for you to understand or take up from this uncertainty point of view. How much do you associate with this uncertainty point, which has been shared by Shalat? And how is this transformational process in Mind Explorer you are associating with, and what is that you're taking away with?
So the uncertainty point is that this is an age when we are, confused. So we have to, like find the right path for us to, grow and be successful in our life. So that is where transformation takes place. So it is like transformation makes us the best versions of ourselves. So to be the best versions of ourselves, we should change. Also to, have a great future. Then about this Mind Explorer, I feel like I'm having a change, like as Rajveer told, like some sessions before, that planning and everything is good, but execution is important. So now everyone here, I did not used to plan this much, like I'm doing it now. So I'm like, learning new things like planning and then executing, then making like challenges and tasks finish at the right time, making timetable and stuff like that. So these things help me transform and make a better version of myself.
Better version of yourself. And I must say so, Rajveer is already an hero. Even before coming onto the channel, it's been last 2 weeks. He's been in the talks in the channel, especially in Mind Race. I think we must be having Rajveer sooner rather later in Mind Race program. So
True,
anyway,
Bala.
so
I think we must be having it. Even I remember we having, referring to his, words of wisdom last week as well.
exactly. So that is what it means when you are part of the process, when you imbibe yourself, when you push yourself passionately, then you come out with these kind of words of wisdom for sure. Thanks for sharing. And as you rightly said, Sanat, it is execution which is the key. All thanks to Rajveer for pointing it out all the way. So now bringing back the prism back to Murli sir. Now here we are talking about uncertainty, identity crisis, and amidst all, sir, there is a very key aspect which both the explorers are highlighting, which is the process. In a time when world is not ready to wait for 2 minutes, now process is not something which happens instantaneously, sir. So now how difficult it is for the Gen Z especially to wait the process. For sure, it is going to be rewarding, probably, but how critical it is and how they can be focused, especially when they are going through this process, sir. Your thoughts and insights.
Yeah, that's a great one, Bala. Actually, we have very famous quotes which we always admire. Where it says like, "Well planned is half done." Okay,
True,
and we are very much, all of us are very sure about the famous story of the woodcutter sharpening his axe. Taking time to sharpen his axe so that his job gets done in a very, very professional way, or a very beautiful way. And this holds good for anything and everything that we do as well. But many times what happens is, like, we overlook the planning process. We get confident into things that, okay, it can be done. I was happy when Sanat was explaining about, how he found going into details about planning is helping him a lot. That's when you say planning and preparation can be done in many ways. But how detailed or how in-depth you can go into planning and preparation phase helps all of us a lot in terms of conducting a program or executing a project or leading a task. So planning is the key, but unfortunately many times what happens is we jump into action. Yeah, now I think we should look at what Rajveer mentioned. The execution is the key, but that execution can happen only and only if we have a proper planning and preparation. So in this, overall rat race of going and executing tasks, so I tend to, request all the participants that without planning, you cannot, you may be successful even without planning, but that's mere luck, nothing else. But if you are able to plan well into details, with a backup plan, how important is plan A, plan B, plan C? I'm sure that recently, when our Prime Minister visited Kerala, there was a huge security labs, and they pushed their plan B into action. So for any big task or any major task, so we must always have these plan A, B, C, and maybe D as well in place. And when it becomes a habit, that is when, we always listen that success is a habit. It's not, it doesn't happen overnight. But there are certain people who are always successful. Whatever they touch, it turns into gold. So how it happens is, excellence has become their habit, or planning and preparation has become their habit. So once this becomes a habit, you don't really need to plan, separately. It all automatically comes into our mind. So when the participant go through these process, automatically when you are there for next task, they know how important it is to plan things, and having a checklist, then having a target date, and importance of getting things done on that particular target date. Naturally, you will succeed. So, but if you're not doing all these things, maybe you will still succeed, but that could be, I would say just a mere factor of luck, or something else like that. But I agree, when you say that well planned is off done. So execution is quite simple, quite easy, if you are able to do in a very planned and prepared way.
Great, sir. So the key or the detail is in the preparation, and doing your just to keep yourself well prepared, as you rightly said, sir, for example, is going to be the key if one has to transform in the best possible way. Thanks for sharing your insights, sir. Now, let me take this question to Charlotte again. Again, a two-prone question, Charlotte. First thing is, as Murli sir was telling about planning. So how good were you with respect to planning prior to Explorer, and how is that planning aspect is getting sharpened, as Murli sir was talking about the axe? Now, the second part is, he was referring about the targets and keeping the course in place. You are the executive lead for this program, Charlotte Shaju. And I have seen you doing things, dear viewers. She has been an inspiring leader. She talks when she has to. She gives the place for members to take their roles when they have to. So that has been an exceptional way of leading a team. So now, whom do you look up as a leader when it comes? Is there any role model? If so, and what is your takeaways when it comes to leadership aspect of it, Charlotte? Sorry for the two-pronged question, but I thought you can take it out.
Sure. So starting with the planning, as the executive lead, I believe members are a huge part of it. Not really like if a leader is there, like everything is perfect. So first we like founded what all we needed to discuss. We made a proper agenda what to discuss, and I made sure that I would hear all the participants' opinions, and they will be voicing out their opinions as well. And I believe this like back and forth communication really helped in making the process way smoother and easier. And about the role model, I do have a role model in the aspect of leadership, which is my elder sister, because she has taken a lot of leadership roles, like being the head girl of the school and things, which as a younger sister was very inspiring. And I believe I tried to get the good habits from her, and like make myself come out of the shell so that I would become more extroverted and like speak in like public and stuff. And I think this program is helping me a lot in that aspect.
Great thoughts and insights, and I guess you answered everything in a crisp way. When you were answering about hearing what portion, it resounded the great Nelson Mandela, how he used to go as a child when his father used to sit along with other leaders. And indeed, hearing out is a very interesting aspect, and an aspect which is generally overlooked. People talk about various facets of leadership. Listening, hearing out your team members, and shaping your ideas. refining it is indeed an exceptional skill. Thanks for bringing it to the foray, Charlotte. And also, it's glad that how you get inspired and you go and inspire others as well. Like, it was heartening to listen in the leadership lessons which you have gained over a period from your sister as well. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and insights, Charlotte. Now, as we speak about one leader, he is a leader at times goes the distance as a leader, and if needs by, he supports his team as and how required. Sanat Sriram. So now the point is how, enriching this experience has been as a leader to you. Have you experienced any leadership positions prior, and if so, and what is the change you are experiencing this time with respect to this logistic lead position, and also overall vice lead to the executive committee as well?
Sir, I have never, been such an important leader before. This is my first time being an, like a leader with so many responsibilities, challenges, and tasks that should be completed. As a leader, we should always, look on to the our members' opinion and always take their opinion. Also, we have to, shape them if they are wrong in any way. Then, uh, as a leader, we have to, be the right path so everyone else would, like follow us, so that we should, like plan, execute, make an agenda, and those things which our members would also, like follow. Uh, Being a logistics team lead, uh, people without following me, they're doing a great job by making an agenda, planning everything, taking transportation, accommodation, every details without, without me doing anything. They're, like completing the task which I have assigned to them. And being a vice leader of executive committee, I follow Charlotte as, like a member. But then, yeah, as a member also, I have to, complete whatever the leader says. I mean, not everything, like then everything, like plan everything, look after all the other committees if they're doing the thing at the right path. So yeah, it's a responsible job to be a leader.
Great. When the leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way, of course, the team is going to be in a good direction, and for sure. And he has been humble enough to say that I'll be listening out to my leader as well. So now, before we wrap up the session, so now let me quickly go to Charlotte once again. So now it has been a month of process which is in place as far as Mind Explorers is concerned. If you have shared about planning, leadership, communication, listening, multiple facets. There have been so many activities which have been going around. If it has to be one specific learning which you feel over a period of 1 month, you feel there is a small transition, some things can be sensed even though you can't see it, but you can sense it. If that is one aspect, what it be, Charlotte?
I think it would be making a plan itself, because I believe that I am quite the spontaneous person. I am always like on the spot. I want to like do stuff. I'm like very unexpected. So I believe like making a plan ahead of time and discussing it with others, and like getting corrections from that side and again revising it. I think this is one of the main thing I have like already studied. And I'm like quite introverted, and this process just forces me out of the zone and like makes me socialize with all the other members and make me more friendlier with them.
Great. It's getting extroverted with people around and understanding more about planning process. Two important facets. Now let me quickly tune into Sanat. You have told about being a leader, being a member, planning, preparing. One facet, if I have to specify it for you, what it will be, which you find as something, okay, over a period of 30 days or a month, I'm sensing that this is helping me out and transform. What would be that facet, Sanat?
So for me also, the one facet that has, that I have sensed that okay, it has gone higher is same planning and execution. Like I used to be a person, I used to plan but not this good. like I used to plan half the things and half the things were on spot. But after this 1 month of this learning process, after this I have learned how to make a like a timetable or a document in which all are planned, and then I follow it every day. Then also execute it. Like for example, my studies, I used to have different times for studies, but now I have like a straight time, fixed time for studies which I follow every day. So yeah, these things have helped me in this transformation project by Mind Explorer.
It's really heartening to listen it out from you, Sanat, and Shailat as well, who were slightly impromptu, is getting into a planned phase, who was planning, he's getting into plan plus execution. And what was glad, what you were saying out, Sanat, was the documentation aspect of it, which predominantly is overlooked, generally understated, underrated, if I have to say so. Documentation is a key facet when it comes to preparing out things, to roll things out, to look back, to see, to have an institutionalized memory, what went wrong or what went right over a period of time. I was really glad listening out to both of you, Shailat and Sanat. Before we wrap up, so let me invite Murli sir back to share his thoughts and insights about how Mind Explorer is shaping up and what is that he looking forward for this program, Mind Explorer Edition 2, sir.
Thank you, Bala, again for the opportunity. And I'm so happy when both the leaders are here, and the when they speak about the program, the ownership level that they have is what is exhibited today. And I'm so happy with the way they are coming up with, and we know how it is going forward. Within 1 month time itself, we have been able to at least plan so many things, and we are more or less on track. But what is mesmerizing is the ownership that they have taken. Even when they explain things, and we can see that energy and enthusiasm in them, explaining about various facets about how it helped them so far. And I think I must compliment both of them for the ownership, leading the whole team from the front. And one good thing about both of them, they are leader in one committee, but at the same time member in another committee. So they are taking multiple roles and getting their task done, which again is a learning by itself. But one thing I would take as a learning from the whole process, and my request to all the other participants will be, I liked when Sanat said that he learned the planning and preparation and documentation, but now he is taking it to his studies. And that is what the application side of the whole process is. And this is the message for all the participants. Whenever we take something, it's not just about that particular task. There are the similar ways that you can apply into certain difficult. I'm so happy when he said that he is utilizing what he has learned into studies, and it could be like playing sports or playing some games, but all that matters is that one set of learning, applying it to a different aspect. And this is exactly what transformation is. And maybe there's a basic foundation, as we all know, right? Building a house, it doesn't happen all of a sudden. You need to build it brick by brick. And when we are able to do that, and we are able to find out how each brick is helpful in the overall construction, that matters a lot. And I'm so happy that both of them are doing great job, and the ownership that they have taken is indeed helping the overall program to be in a great shape. I have no doubts that this program is going to be a very successful one, not because of Mind Academy, but because we have leaders like Shailat, Shaju, and Sanat Sriram. Hats off to both of you, Mind Explorers.
Thanks a lot, sir, for sharing your thoughts and insights. For sure, as you rightly said, it's not because of going to be Mind Academy, it's because of leaders who are coming out part of the process, like Shailat, Shaju, and Sanat Sriram, who's going to take things forward in the right direction. It's been a great evening listening to the leaders of tomorrow, Shailat, Shaju, and Sanat Sriram, how transformation, how important is planning, and how it is important to listen out if you're in a leadership role. And not to forget, execution and documenting things when it comes to all the process to make sure that we are on the right track. So it was an insightful evening, as always, in Mind Race, lighting up the world experience with Mind Academy. Till the time we fall back with yet another interesting, insightful discussion in Mind Race, it's us signing off. So I once again thank the panel members and the distinguished guests for the evening. Thank you. See you all shortly at the other end of the week.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you.